Good afternoon, everybody. It is Sunday, the 15th of February. Welcome to the Sunday Sesh, and the NRL All-Stars is live, and the Māoris have already scored. How good was the pre-game ceremony? Unbelievable. As always, guys, the chat is live, so if anybody's on, feel free to jump in. Keen to hear from you. Makes the day go faster. Feel free to throw your own topics in. We don't have to listen to the crap that I want to talk about. And we'll have a go at watching the footy while we have a chat. You'll notice a bit of a different background to normal. That's because the TV's on that wall over there. And if I want to watch the footy and talk to you guys, I can't do both at the same time. So change the room around. How is everyone? Hope everyone's good. Hope everyone's had a great week. See if I can work some magic over here. All right, well, what's been happening this week? It's been a big week in sport, hasn't it? We've had Live Golf is absolutely going off in Adelaide. I need to check the score again, but a minute ago, John Rahm was winning by a shot. Lucas Herbert's not far behind him, though. How good would that be for the old bloke to get up for the Aussies? Was it Lucas Herbert that was a late call-up too? Let's refresh the score and have a look. Anthony Kim's now tied with John Rahm. Very good. Anthony Kim, 19 under. John Rahm, 19 under. Who's the best Aussie? Lucas Herbert down in 8th. Cam Smith up to 8th. They got some work to do, though. Can't see him making up 4 shots in a couple of holes. What's been going on this week? Well, lots. So today's show, guys, we'll catch up on the Super Bowl. We talked about it last week. We might as well go over the result. There's been a bunch of NRL trial matches, a few more games this week than what there was last week for us to talk about. I was going to talk about Aussies losing to Zimbabwe in the T20 World Cup, but does anyone actually give a shit anymore? I don't know with the cricket. I'm a little bit apathetic to it at the moment. We've just had the Ashes, and obviously we're all into the Ashes. But with so much cricket being played, the T20s over in the subcontinent, does anyone really care? I don't think anyone really cares. And that's probably why no one realised that we lost to Zimbabwe until it came across the news that we'd lost to Zimbabwe. Unbelievable scenes. Unbelievable scenes. The All-Stars game is on. Maoris are up 6-0. Yeah, no, I don't think I care enough about the cricket to waste much time on it. I don't care about the cricket to waste much time on it. Who we got in the chat? Who do we have? Channel content. Really think I'd have this sorted by now, wouldn't you? That's what I wanted, that one there. There we go. Now I can actually see what's going on. All right, so what do we think about this All-Stars game? It helped Manly beat the Warriors like yesterday, that's for sure. Big crowd. Huge crowd. Who are we tipping to win? I don't think I've watched an All-Stars game for years. It's good that the footy's back, but there's plenty of it on already, so I'm not really sure. Who we're going for. I do love all the culture, though. I love all the culture associated with it. It's brilliant stuff. While we're watching, we might as well talk NRL first. Well, actually, no, we won't talk NRL first. So the NFL Super Bowl was on Monday. Feels like it was a month ago now. As expected, the Seattle Seahawks got up. I gave you guys all the rundown last week on who we should be going for, and the Melbourne Storm of the NFL did not win. Fuck you, Patriots. The game was really a non-event in the end. The Seahawks absolutely beat the shit out of them. Sam Darnold, the quarterback that I spoke about, who needed all the love in the world, got his win. Great story there. Really wasn't much of a game. Horrible halftime performance. Bad Bunny. Who is Bad Bunny and why was he on our TV screens? I got absolutely no idea. Some of those Latin dances, though, a little bit of okay. A little bit of okay with the Latin dances. Yeah, there were actually not much to talk about with that game because it was a bit of a non-event. Someone was comparing it to when Manly put 40 on the Storm, just not much doing. But yes, Manly did put 40 on the Storm in a grand final quite a few years ago. It was a beautiful thing to behold. Golf today, another victim. Old Jackie boy, Jack Calder, he decided to bet me $50 on our game of golf today. He lost in a big way. 35 points for me. It was a pretty average round, to be fair, and a bit disappointing. I'm on the way. Handicap's coming down. We'll end up at 17.2 after today's round. Play with a couple of grumpy fellas. Golf's hard enough without being miserable while you're on the course. They took their golf very, very seriously and weren't having a good day, so I get it. But, man, lighten up a bit. But 35 points, which will put me down to a handicap of 17.2 from 17.5. We've got about 6 weeks left to get down to the magic number 15 that I'm chasing by the end of March. We'll give it a good nudge. Not too many blow-ups on the course today. Just an average round, like scored well, but just and came off with 35 points, but didn't play well. So that tells me that I've got it in me somewhere to be a 15 handicapper. But as I keep getting reminded, thank you, Gibbs. Well, if you keep playing to 18 handicap, you'll stay in 18. So thank you. Thanks, Scoop. Thanks so much for that. Guys, the chat is live. So if there's a couple of people watching, feel free to say hello. Feel free to come up with any crap you want. And let's get this party started. Trial matches, well, we've had plenty of them this weekend. Thursday night, there was footy on Thursday night already. Feels a bit early for that. But anyway, Titans defeated the Dolphins 24-12, which pretty much, I've been saying you can't tell a lot from the trials, but there's been a few games this week where people have put their strong sides on, almost their full teams on. So there was a little bit to be gleaned from this weekend's games. The Titans, I did watch that game. I didn't get to watch many of these games, but I did watch the Titans and the Dolphins had it all over them early. And then the Titans come back strong and finished over the top. The best news of the day was Thomas Flegler got through unscathed, and geez, he looked good, which now I've got the shits about because he's a Queenslander. Playing his first game in 2 years after a shoulder injury. He come back, he looks strong. And I reckon we're going to find that my Titans, who I put down in 14th, probably should have been a bit higher. I knew I wanted to put them higher. Geez, they look good. They look like a brand new football team. It's amazing what happens when you get rid of Des Hasler, isn't it? They look like a brand new football team, and the Dolphins look like the Dolphins. That's what I meant last week. I don't understand how people have got them in their top 8. Some people have got them in their top 4. They're doing nothing for me. They're doing nothing for me. Raiders beat the Storm. How good? Fuck you, Storm. I really hate the Storm. It's gone to another level this week. Raiders looked really good. It wasn't full strength sides on either side, but Raiders pumped them. Cowboys beat the Panthers 66-24, and people carrying on about how good the Cowboys looked. Can you have a look at the average age of the Penrith team, please? Because they were playing 12-year-olds. It was a full strength. It was the best team they could put on the park, the Cowboys, and that was the youngest team that the Panthers could have put on the park. I don't know if they had one single regular NRL player in the side, and they pumped them, and they should have pumped them. Yeah. Can't pick your opposition. You got to play the game that's put in front of you. I get that, but let's not carry on about the Cowboys because they still had 24 points put on them by a bunch of 12-year-olds. So they're still on struggle street, I believe, the Cowboys. Manly, well, it's not why I'm wearing the jersey today, but Manly had a win yesterday over the Warriors. I didn't watch it. I've read a couple of articles about it. Neither team were at full strength, but it did sound like the Warriors struggled, and we're going to talk about the Warriors shortly in my predictions. But it did sound like they struggled, especially in the halves, and apparently a couple of the Manly's young blokes look good, but that's probably one because half the Warriors team, I think, is in this game. 6-all, Indigenous All-Stars are in. They're going at it. You always wonder when they put all-stars attached to a game, are people really going to have a go? But I think that's a result of what they do in America now, where the all-star games really mean nothing. So I'm probably been my judgment's probably a bit clouded by what I see happen in America. I really haven't paid attention to the footy all-stars because of that for a long, long time. Oh, Nico just got smashed. Leave his hair alone. Leave his hair alone. You got both the Sharks halves playing. So Hines and Trindle both playing for the Indigenous All-Stars, so they won't play against Parra tonight. Interesting. They'll probably go better. And Hiroti. Geez, they got some Sharks. There won't be many Sharks playing against Parra tonight. My goodness. Tigers beat the Roosters 42-26. I played golf with a couple of guys today who are pretty serious and unsmiling. They got nothing on Benji Marshall. I don't know if we're going to get a smile out of Benji this year. They were up. They hit 40. Bloke misses a goal from almost in front. It was a shocking kick, so shocking it was comical. Do you reckon you could get a smile out of Benji? Not a chance in the world. None whatsoever. Just chewing his gum. I hope he's got a gum sponsorship, or if anyone's looking for an ambassador for their gum, I'd get on Benji Marshall. Steve Leary's here. G'day, mate. No feuding this week, please. Tigers look good. Tigers did look good. Looked like a bit of fun. Roosters were struggling, though. Roosters didn't look great, but they didn't have anyone on of any note. There was big raps on young Robwell, Toby Robwell. He didn't play well at all. So I don't know how far those raps are going to go. But 42 for the Tigers. I haven't heard anyone say they're going to come out and win the comp yet, but that's a shock because normally when the Tigers win anything, everyone comes out and picks them for the 8. I can't see them. They're coming third last. Now, a couple of games that mattered for proving me right anyway, which is all we're here for. Bulldogs and the Knights. What a sad, sad, sad state of affairs for the Knights. I did watch this game. I did watch a $13 million halfback walk around. Sorry, Steve. I just said I didn't want to feud and we're under the Knights. Good timing. God, it was bad. What did you think of the game, Stephen? So it was both at full strength, both sides at full strength. Dylan Brown's first game for the Knights, $13 million of him. Started strong, looked good early, but the Knights had nothing. The Knights had absolutely nothing, and then it got a bit comical. The mistakes they were making, there were a lot of rookie errors, a lot of reserve grade stuff. They didn't score a point, which is a mean feat in a trial game. How you go through a whole trial game without scoring a point, that's new. And obviously I wasn't there and I was only watching through the TV, but you could tell the crowd weren't overly impressed. Steve, no, they were dog shit last night. He went missing. He went missing after about the first 10 minutes. He tried a couple of things early and then there was nothing. It was back to the old Dylan Brown, which, I mean, I guess is everyone's fear. I was chatting with the other Steve that I'm feuding with on the messages while the game was on, and he was saying, oh, that wasn't Brown's fault, that was a forward's fault, that wasn't Brown's fault, that was a forward's fault. Some of them were Brown's fault. The intercept he threw that then got pulled back, that was a joke that it got pulled back, but he did throw an intercept for a try and then did nothing else after that. So not good signs for the Knights. And Connor Watson scored for the Indigenous All-Stars. Do like Connor Watson, good Central Coast boy. We've had some bloody good footballers come from the Central Coast. And the Bulldogs look good. But Burton tore his hamstring. So the Bulldogs look good, except they were playing the Newcastle Knights. And they're all going over to Vegas together. They're not playing each other, those two, but fuck, it's going to be a long season for the Knights, Steve Leary. I'm sorry, mate. Going to be a long season for the Knights. In the other game, again, proving me right, I think Charity Shield, Rabbits versus Dragons. Now, the first half, Dragons had their full-strength team. So pretty much the team that's going to be playing in Vegas. The Dragons had on in the first half versus a very, very, very reserve grade, bordering on third grade side from the Bunnies, and 12 all at halftime. So the Dragons can't beat a third grade South side, and the Knights couldn't score a point in a trial game. So when I say that the Dragons for the spoon and the Knights closely behind them or in front of them, they may switch over, but those two teams are in a lot of trouble. Kyle Flanagan was in at 5'8". Daniel Atkinson didn't do much at halfback for the Dragons, and it was the same old story. Gutho looked like a superstar for about 12 minutes, but he was playing a third grade team. I'm going to talk about Steve Roach in a minute too. Steve Roach was commentating that game, and he is a shocker, absolute shocker. But I don't see much coming from the Drags. So you got the Sharks and Eels tonight, but it doesn't look like it'll be much of the Sharks because most of them are playing in this game. Neither of those teams, I can tell you, spoiler alert, feature in, or do they? I was about to say feature in my predictions, but they both might actually. Dumb statement, Wilson. So, Charity Shield last night, Steve Roach is commentating. Is there a worse commentator in rugby league than Steve Roach? Or, better question, has there ever been a worse commentator in rugby league than Steve Roach? He's got a great name, Steve Leary, but he is impossible to listen to. I cannot listen to him. Gets names wrong, I don't know what he watches on TV. Last night, Jaden Sewer threw a pass. He caught the ball, held it for 2 seconds, threw a pass to the halfback, so to Atkinson, who beat three players to make a break to set, I think it was Gutho up for a try. And Blocker's comment is, oh, put that down to Jaden Sewer. What a great player he is. Jaden Sewer did 2 bits of fuck all. And that is Blocker to a T. He's an absolute punish. And it got me thinking, is he the worst ever? Is Steve Roach the worst TV commentator ever? Now, I hope he never hears this and I bump into him because he'd absolutely tear me up. He beat me over the head with my own leg, I think. But, mate, and I reckon that's the only reason he's got a job is because everyone's scared of him. How can you keep that guy commentating rugby league when he can't put a sentence together? It's unbelievable. So my bottom 3 at the moment are Blocker, and then 24 kilometres behind him, Kevy Walters isn't real good either. Kevy Walters is not a good commentator either. He struggles to put his thoughts together. A bit of fun, seems like a lot of fun, Kevy, but he struggles as a commentator. And then Brandy Alexander, I can't copy him either. Yes, Steve. I got Brandy number 3. Who do you put? So you reckon Blocker's 1? I didn't see your chat. I reckon Blocker's got to be 1. Brandy or Kevy 2, and Brandy or Kevy 3. I've got Blocker as all time though. Blocker's number 1 all time. You know who's number 2 all time? I don't know if you ever heard him commentate. Mark Gasnier. Mark Gasnier, when he first left footy, went to Channel 9, I think, commentating. He, the poor bloke, couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. I don't know whether he was trying to read off teleprompters or what was going on, but he actually could not string a sentence together. Absolutely shocking. He'd stutter. Oh, Warren Smith, yeah. Warren Smith number 1 over Blocker. No. I know he's got that weird tone and doesn't engender a lot of excitement, Warren Smith, but he does at least know what he's doing to some extent. Blocker's actually the worst. I don't know. I can't agree with you there, Steve. I didn't think, I was trying to remember Warren Smith, but Mark Gazier, and then the other one was Wayne Pearce. Anyone ever hear Wayne Pearce try and commentate? He was only ever a third stringer or a sideline eye, but Wayne Pearce was absolutely shocking. Warren Smith over blocker. Steve, I don't know about you sometimes, man. That's got me rattled. That's got me rattled. Who's your best? Who's your best commentator, Steve? I got Ganane first. He's commentating this game, I think. I got Ganane first. I got Voss second. And I don't know, third. I've gone Mick Innes only because someone suggested it yesterday. And when I thought about it, he's pretty good, Mick Innes. He does repeat himself a lot. Says the same sentence twice all the time. Says the same sentence twice all the time. See, I just did that. Mick Innes does that all the fucking time. No one will ever beat Rabs. But Dan Ganane's number one for me at the moment. Now, you see me eating. I got some Sherbies. Can I just say, Sherbies, one of one for the best lolly out there by a mile. I don't even have a second. I tried to think of a list. I don't even have a second. Sherbies are as good as they come. Yeah, Steve's got Dan Ganane closely followed by Vossi. Yeah, I'll give you that. Ganane's good on radio. You hear him on radio when he's doing Triple M. He's fucking great for radio. Just the energy about him. TV, I guess you got something to look at as well, so they don't have to paint the picture as much. But on radio, obviously you got to paint the picture and try and get people into it as if they were there. Ganane does that really, really well. Anyway, Sherbies, man. Mrs. Sunday Sesh bought me a pack of Sherbies for Valentine's Day yesterday. It was brilliant. I love them. While we're talking about best and worst, can I also just say, and Steve, if you watch the Tigers game, you would know what I'm about to talk about. Casey Badger is the worst match official in the NRL by the same distance that Blocker is the worst commentator. How she keeps her job, well, I know how she keeps her job. Gavin Badger, her husband runs the referees, but talk about nepotism and talk about, I mean, it's a joke. And I feel for her, and this in no way is a gender thing because all we need is people who can do the job competently. But how she keeps a job, yeah, I know. Did you see the obstruction yesterday where who scored? One of the Egan boys. One of the Egan boys scored under the post. The runner went through, took out a Tiger, and yes, the Tiger didn't make a great effort to tackle, but clearly an obstruction. Will be pulled up all year, won't be allowed all year unless she's in the bunker. She allows it. Cooper Cronk nearly jumped out of the box, I think, jumped off the stadium. He was commentating at the time. He had to bite his tongue because I think they've all been told to bite their tongue on her because she copped so much shit last year that I think they've all been told to bite her tongue, but it's absolutely criminal. Yeah, we go to work, we do a better job as that, we're out on our ass. She's going to ruin coaching careers. She's going to ruin playing careers. That's the thing with referees. Like, not a huge fan of them really, but they've got a job to do. They get paid bloody well to do it, and it's not an easy job, but they fuck up the easy bits. And unfortunately, they get to keep their job, whereas the poor coach who loses that game or the player who doesn't play so well that game and they loses his career. There's something got to be done there. So Casey Badger, you're on my shit list. All right. Quarter time in the footy, 12-6. What's the score in the golf? Anthony Kim and Rahm still tied. It looks like they're having a ball down in Adelaide. Looks like they're having an absolute ball. My brother-in-law's down there. He'd be absolutely tearing it up, I reckon. All right, we'll stay on footy and we'll get through the predictions. So we're up to number 9. If we want to recap, we had the Dragons in the wooden spoon position, closely followed by the Knights, closely followed by the Tigers. But after yesterday's performance, the Tigers are probably going to win the comp. And then the Titans in 14th. 13th, but remember I was tossing up between them and the Cowboys. Cowboys are in 13th, and I reckon we're going to be pretty spot on there. In 12th, I had the Rabbits. Rabbits are going to struggle until Payne Haas gets there. 11th, I had Manly, but only because I didn't want to put South above them. That was purely a biased decision. Manly could finish last, to be honest. The more I think about it, Manly's a good chance with a couple of injuries of coming last. 10th, I had the Dolphins because I don't understand how anyone's got them any higher than that and how people have got them in the 8. I just don't fucking understand it. Haven't watched enough footy, obviously, in my life to know. So we're up to number 9. Number 9, I've gone the Wars. 9's the Wars. I can't see them making the 8, and they might struggle to get 9th. To be fair, there's a toss-up between them and the Dolphins. They could easily be interchanged. Love the Wars. Everyone's second favourite team. The only reason I've got them in 9th actually is because of their home field advantage. I think if they were over in Sydney and we were rating them purely based on what they're going to do on the field this year, they might even be a bit lower. I think they're going to struggle. They've got big problems in their 7, 6 and 1. I've heard talk that Charles Nickel-Cockstad might be playing 5'8". He might be their best option at 5'8" at the moment. And if you've got your best fullback as your best option at 5'8", then you're in serious, serious trouble. Luke Metcalf's not due back for a little while. And Tamari Martin's playing in this game here. And I've just blanked on their other 5'8's name, but Chanel Harris-Tavita. Apparently he struggled against Manly last night. They struggled to strike a blow, apparently, and they had enough for their team on to do something. So I think they struggle. I think they punched above their weight all last year. They hung on for as long as they could. I really like their 9, Wade Egan. His brothers sold me my golf clubs. Great hooker. Gets banged up, though, from about mid-year onwards pretty much every year. He's got some stuff going on. He's got some hip issues, I think. He's got some bits and pieces. He's always hurting his elbow, and if they lose him and they don't have their 7, 6 and probably 1 going well, they're rooted. They're absolutely stuffed. They've obviously got the forwards just with the size of them. They got the outside backs essentially, but who's going to link them? Who's going to run them around the field? And I think that's a bit of a problem. Once Metcalf left last year, they hung in for a lot longer than anyone thought they would last year after Metcalf did his leg. But Tanner Boyd's serviceable at best, isn't he? Serviceable at best, and they struggle. They'll win. When I said home ground advantage, they got the biggest home ground advantage of anyone in the comp. People actually have to get on, fly overseas to go and play them. So they win games purely based on where their home ground is, I think, which keeps them in 9th or 10th, but we've put them in 9th. Now, number 8, Steve Leary. Hopefully you're happy with this, mate. I initially had them higher, but you know what? Fuck them. Number 8, the Melbourne Storm. Fuck the Storm. Fuck the Storm. They hopefully are going to struggle. They're a bit light on in the forwards now that, yes, part of it's because I hate them. I initially picked them in 6th, but I definitely didn't have them in the top 4. They're lacking a bit of depth in the forwards now that Katoa's out. People are here talking about it, say, Katoa and Nelson, but Nelson really wasn't playing much, so you can't count him as a loss for them. They didn't want him there, so he doesn't count. But their front row especially, they got Ukamano, but he's only a 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off kind of guy and is reasonably inconsistent. They've put Jack Etherington down there. I watched the trial. He's still mad as a cut snake. Big Jack. Big boy, though. Big boy, and obviously Bellamy's seen something in him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have brought him down there. But I think they just needed a bit of mongrel. That's why they brought him. They might get more than what they bargained for with him, though. I think he's certifiable. MAD mad. MAD mad for Big Jack. Look, Hughes gets hurt a lot. Munster doesn't, but Munster's got to be in the mood for him to start to have a crack. They've lost Pappy, and I know Sua's Farlongo is good, but is he Pappy? Is he going to be as pop up everywhere Pappy did? I don't think so. And then don't underestimate the loss of Jonah Pezzett. If Hughes gets hurt or Munster goes down or around Origin time, they've got Tyrone Wishart, but they also had Jonah Pezzett who could sit in and play like a regular starting NRL half. They've got no one there now. So I think they lack a bit of depth, the Storm. Look, every year everyone thinks they're going to fall off and every year they come and bite people in the arse, but I reckon this is our year, Steve. This is our year where the Storm fuck it all up. I've got them in 8th. Anyone tell me I'm different? Anyone tell me anything different? I'm happy to hear it. Now, while we're on the Storm, what they are doing in regards to Zach Lomax and Parramatta is an absolute disgrace. And not only is it a disgrace that they're doing it, they're doubling down, the pricks. They really don't give a fuck about anyone else in the world. They're doubling down. They're coming out on radio and on television and saying, poor us, we can't believe Parramatta's doing this to us. Zach Lomax is going to cop a lot of grief where he already is, and I'm putting 70% of the blame now on the Storm. It's all right for them. They got him out in front copping all the bullets. They're the ones antagonising for it. They're the ones trying to make it happen. They're the ones pushing him to get a release. And it's criminal. And the clubs are going to tear themselves apart if it is allowed to get through. And it came out later in the week that the Storm actually went to the NRL. The Storm actually went to the NRL and asked the NRL to put pressure on Parramatta to let him play. You don't want to be alarmist, but if that is allowed to happen, or if the NRL do that, there is huge problems. It's going to cause massive issues. Contracts won't be worth a pinch of shit. But it's going to cause, there'll be a fight. There'll be a division in the league. And Melbourne are wholly and solely to blame. Wholly and solely to blame. And yes, Steve, he might be a greedy little shit. 100%. He's a bonehead. He's a fucking bonehead. And what he barked up the wrong tree and he got found out. Sure, his manager's got plenty of questions to answer as well for leading him up the garden path. But I don't reckon it's him that's pushing it to go to court. The Storm would be going, mate, just go to court. And now the Storm are saying they'll pay his bills if he loses. So otherwise he would have gone off and got a job somewhere else by now. There's plenty of money to be made elsewhere for him. What I want to know is, when I don't understand enough about it, is if the court rules. So I said during the week to somebody, if the court rules that he can play, well, then all bets are off and he can play because that's what the court's decided. But if the court rules that the agreement that he had to not play for another NRL club is invalid, then surely he reverts to being a Parramatta employee. Surely then the release, if they rule part of that agreement invalid, wouldn't the whole agreement be invalid? Sorry, mate, you no longer have your release. That's a question someone asked, and I didn't actually have a good answer for it. So it'll be interesting to see what plays out there. I think it's going to cause, there'll be massive ramifications not if the court lets him play, because that's the get out for the Storm. But if the NRL intervenes and makes it happen, then there'll be fucking hell to pay for sure. Number 7, who were my number 8, but fuck the Storm. I got Para in 7. And if you had asked me 2 years ago if I'd ever say that, think that, no, but I already apologised to my Para fan mates last week. I'm not going to do it again. Para are onto something. Para onto something good. I think the Titans have been drinking out of the same Kool-Aid bottle. And I think we're going to see Para in the top 8. Their culture, obviously, we've spoken about culture. What Rolls has done with their culture is unbelievable. They were playing really good footy towards the end of last year. They were just lacking a bit of something, and I reckon they weren't lacking a bit of something. They had Dylan Brown. That was a bit that made them lacking because they had a highly played, supposed to be first grade football or not playing first grade football. So I think with the acquisition of Pezzett, even though it's only for a year, that fills a hole. That fills what they were missing last year. Imagine if Dillbags was playing for Para last year the way he played in the Pacific Championships. How good did Para go? So they're missing a 5'8". They've picked up a 5'8". They've still got the culture right. They're probably I don't really rate their centres. Good footballers, but they're probably missing a couple of game breakers. Their fullback's going to be world class. Yongi, he's going to be world class. They got Fox on one wing. They probably need another winger. What have I written? They're probably one winger and a barnstorming back rower away now that they got Pezzett. They need a barnstorming back rower and they'll be set. Pack's looking good. Pack's strong. Depends which Junior Paulo turns up. If he's motivated, then he goes good. If he's not motivated, he's in the same class as Dylan Brown, just leaves the game whenever he wants. But I think Para can do big things, and I've got him in 7th place. Number six, I got the Sharks. So Para and the Sharks play themselves tonight, but we won't be able to glean anything from that, like I said, because it looks like half of the Sharks team's playing in this All-Stars game. Number 6, the Sharks. They're predictable, man. You're going to get the same thing from them year in, year out. They've had the same team for the last 5 years or so, barring one or two players. They're predictable. They're consistent. They play good regular season football. But as we've seen the last few years, when it gets to finals, they just don't have that X factor that you need to go to the extra step. They're probably missing a couple of game breakers, aren't they? So the halves need to sort their shit out, and if the halves sort their shit out, then they go okay, but they don't really have someone who can turn something into nothing. Ronaldo Mulatalo's out. He's hurt himself. He's gone for the year. I think he's done his ACL. That's really going to hurt him because he was someone who could do something a little bit freakish. I like Will Kennedy when he's on the fullback, but again, he's a good regular season fullback. He's not scoring the length of the fielders or just busting games wide open like a Reece Walsh is. They're missing as well. I've said this a couple of times now, but they're missing probably a barnstorming second rower and a game-breaking fullback, I think. And Nico's a good halfback. Braden Trindle's a good half, but they need someone who is running off them who can absolutely fucking tear it apart. I don't think they got it. I've got them in 6th this year. And then, so that leaves 5th, which will make the top 4, well, at least who's in it, known, but not the order. I've got the Dogs in 5th. I've got the Dogs in 5th, and I'm going to say very similar things about them that I just said about Cronulla. They're going to be a great regular season team. Their defence is strong, although their attack looked okay yesterday, but again, they were playing the Newcastle Knights. And I think when it gets to the end of the season, that small pack's going to be worn down. They've added Leo Thompson from the Knights, but it still leaves them pretty light on in the front row. They don't have those big boppers that they need. And they're also probably a game-breaking fullback short. So Burton, who's now done his hammy, Galvin, they're not really game breakers. If they're trying to turn Galvin into a halfback, he's going to have to be more game managing than game breaking. You got Stephen Crichton, he's one of my favourite players at the moment, out in the centres, and he's a great leader. But who's their game breaker? And you want, strong defence and low mistake rate gets you through the regular season and gets you to finish reasonably high in the regular season. We saw that with Cronulla and we saw that with the Dogs last year. But you want to, you need to win a few of those extra games where something freakish has happened. They just don't have the freaks. They don't have the freaks, the Sharks or the Dogs. I've got the Dogs in 5th. So 9 through 5, I've got the Warriors in 9th, but that could be tenuous. They could be much lower. I've got the Storm in 8th because fuck the Storm. I still think they'll make the 8, unfortunately, but I'm not going to put them any higher than 8th. We'll wait and see. 7th, I've got Parramatta. Let's go the Eels. I could see myself putting them sort of on my second/third/fourth favourite team list if they go about things the right way. 6, I got the Sharks. Boring as batshit, but serviceable. And the Dogs, similar. Similar for the Dogs. So going back from 17, we've got the Dragons coming last, followed by the Knights, followed by the Tigers, followed by the Titans, although if you can get anything out of a trial game, the Titans look like they're going to go a bit better. Cowboys in 13th, Souths in 12th, Manly in 11, Dolphins in 10th, Wars in 9, Storm in 8th, and Sharks and the Dogs. Oh, Para in 7th, sorry, and the Sharks and the Dogs. So we'll talk top 4. Obviously, the top 4 next week is going to be made up of the Roosters, the Raiders, the Broncos, and the Panthers. But what order will they come in? And does anyone agree with me? Probably not. Isn't it funny? Oh, Rishi's on. That's good. He didn't jump in the chat, though. Are you still there, Rish? If you're there, jump in the chat. He's texted me privately, bagging a Manly jersey, but I didn't see it. My missus just texts me and says, don't worry about the notification. It's just me using the Amex. What good can come from your wife texting you saying, no good from, don't worry, it's just me using the Amex. No good at all. No good at all. Panthers, no go. Justify yourself, Steve. Want to be a good explanation? 12-10 in the footy. Looks like it's been a good game. All right. So men digging holes. I wanted to talk about men digging holes. Men, as a man and a Manly fan, I consider myself the king of digging holes. I've got world titles everywhere for the amount of holes I've dug for myself in various things. You're talking about a guy who's forgotten I've only been married 11 years. I've forgotten my wedding anniversary twice. I've come home with more injuries from benders than any person known to man. I've got scars all over me from the drunken shenanigans that have happened. I've had mates barred from seeing me by their girlfriends because of the trouble I've got them into. And if saying the wrong thing at the wrong time was an Olympic sport in honour of the Winter Olympics, I would be a multiple times a zillion gold medalist. That's how good I am at digging holes. But then, Hold My Beer says Norwegian biathlete Sturla Holm Lagrid. Sturla Holm Lagrid wins a bronze medal in the biathlon earlier in the week in the Winter Olympics. If anyone didn't know, the Winter Olympics is on, because who gives a shit about it? But the Winter Olympics are on. Wins a bronze medal in the biathlon, getting interviewed on TV straight after he wins the medal. And instead of pride for country and pride for life and proud of his achievements, this bloke gets on live TV and says, 6 months ago I met the love of my life. 3 months ago I cheated on her. Pull out the shovel. Live TV. Olympics beamed all around the world. You've just won a bronze medal, not even a gold medal. No, God bless Norway. I met the love of my life 6 months ago, and 3 months ago I cheated on her. And now I want her back, and I've made a big mistake. Now, it's going to go one of two ways, isn't it? Steve Leary says she couldn't have been that good. Love of his life, not after, but she hit the 12-week mark and he thought, oh, maybe there's something better. Hardly the love of life. Gone from gold medalist to silver medalist in his eyes, and now he wants to give her the gold back. So it's gone pear-shaped for him. It didn't do what he thought it was going to do. He thought he was going to get it back. She's come out and said, no way, no fucking way. That's a lot of pressure, isn't it? That's a lot of pressure to be put under. The bloke, the love of your life's just come out and said, oh, by the way, 3 months in, silver medal for you. If I was her, I'm looking for the silver medalist or the gold medalist anyway. He's only the fucking bronze medalist. Find a winner. Find a winner. So she said, oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to get over it. He's done. He went on more. He got in newspapers. He kept going on about it. The Norwegian team are trying to get him to shut up. It's taken all the focus off their success. I don't know if a bloke's ever dug a bigger hole for himself than that. If you can think of anyone, please let me know. 6 months ago, I met the love of my life. 3 months ago, I cheated on her. On live fucking television after winning the bronze medal in the Winter Olympics. And listen, I'm only upset because I've lost my crown. I was the king, undefeated heavyweight champion and digging holes for myself. Undefeated. And this prick comes along, doesn't even win the gold medal, wins a bronze medal, and then steals my crown. It's very fucking funny. It's very fucking funny. Back to you, Steve Leary, for a second. Cleary goes down all over. Cleary's gone down the last couple of years, mate. It hasn't been all over for him. Cleary misses a lot of football. A lot of people don't realise. Cleary misses a lot of football. I think he played more last year than he had the previous 2 years or 3 years combined. Always does his hammies, remember? They were coming home strong at the end of last year, the Panthers. I think underestimate them at your peril. I wouldn't mind having a bet with you, Steve. I don't know where you're from, mate. Where are you from, Steve? I won a bet today, so I'm feeling confident. Bloody Jack Calder thinks he can bet me in head-to-head golf. I smashed him. My 35 points, he had 22. Give me the $50, mate. Give me the pineapple. Get out of here. Unbelievable scenes. How's the footy going? Hunter Valley, good golf courses up there. Are you a golfer? Cypress Lakes is hard. I just did it. I did a trip to the Hunter Valley just before Christmas, and I'd stopped drinking. So it was the first time I'd been up there as a non-drinker, and I couldn't fit a fucking game of golf in. What the point of going to the Hunter Valley if you can't play golf or fucking drink wine? What's the point? It may as well not exist. That was a tough trip. Jesus Christ. Work conference too. Fucking work conference. Hunter Valley, no golf, no wine. There's just no point in living when you get to that stage. Speaking of not drinking, we had a good test or not a good test, sorry. I shouldn't need to reframe that. I had a funeral during the week. Sad funeral. They're all sad funerals, but this is a young bloke, a couple of young kids died, workplace accident, dead at 34, wife and kids left behind, family destroyed. Must have been 1,000 people at the funeral. And I was worried because I hadn't, I've been tested a couple of times with the no drinking thing, but mostly social events and no really earth-shattering moments that are really going to test you. And I was worried going into it about the wake and what was going to happen. The wake was at the Mean Fiddler in Rouse Hill, world-renowned pub for being the roughest joint in Australia. And I worried because with all the emotion that was going on, it'd be very, very easy. But for all those who were still thinking about giving up the grog or wanting to cut back, we got through it. It was I won't say it was easy. It was easy from a non-drinking standpoint. It wasn't easy emotionally. It was a very hard day. It was a very sad day. A lot of people close to me very, very heavily affected by what happened. But funnily enough, we're at the wake, we're at the pub, everyone's got a beer in their hand. I walk over and get my zero, my Heineken zero. So when we first sat down, there was four of us drinking around the same table, three of us on full strength beers and one of us on zeros. And by the time I left, there was five people on zeros and no one on full strength beers. And they weren't doing it for my benefit. I think I said a couple of episodes ago, people are looking for a reason for it to be okay. And one of the biggest reasons people look for is other people doing it. And so I think just sitting there and me sitting there with my zero was enough to give other people permission to sit there and do it. And more people should, I think. I think it's so many people out there who either aren't drinking or want to stop and just don't think they got the social permission to do it. It's a horrible reason not to do something. I mean, it's how we've been framed our whole life. Peer pressure, society's pressure, and all that stuff pretty much shaped us who we are as humans. But it was very interesting upon reflection when I thought about it. I went, fucking hang on a minute. Went from a table full of drinkers to a table full of non-drinkers in the space of an hour. So very, very interesting. Where are we at? Halftime in the footy. Give me something to talk about, Steve. What do you got? Every now and then, but pro, mate. None of us are pros. I try, I pretend. Oh, Justin Rose winning last week gives me the chance to go pro at the ripe old age of 43. Can't believe Rishi jumped in and didn't fucking, he's having a go at me. Manly jersey, but he won't do it in public. I said I'd give Rishi a shout out. It wasn't going to be a good shout out. He's turned on me today. We're feuding. Rishi's the bloke that I met when I first quit drinking. The first round of golf I played was with Rish, and I've told this story a couple of times. He'd given up the grog 2 years prior. So uh, just out of coincidence, that's who I got paired with the first game of golf I played since I stopped drinking. We've become good mates until today. We've become mates. We've played plenty of games of golf together. But he plays at Everglades. Anyone who knows the Central Coast, Everglades, beautiful course, but it's a par 66. It's got 9 par 3s on it. It's meant for old people. It's very, very short. And Rishi thinks he's a fucking superstar, doesn't he? He's into me. And now he said, make sure I mention the head to head score if I talk. So I will mention the head to head score. I've never beaten him. Never beaten him. But what he left out was we've only ever played on his home track. We've only ever played at Everglades, bar one. Bar one, we've only ever played at Everglades where he's been playing for God knows how many years, knows every crook, knows every crevice, knows all the shortcuts, doesn't help a brother out, doesn't tell me any of the reads, doesn't tell me where I'm supposed to be going, just sits there and fucking laughs. But he won't come off his little boy course. He calls it, he's a par 3 specialist. He won't come up to Royal Wong and have a go. Now, in fairness to Rish, he is 100. He does hang around. He likes playing with the 90-year-old old ladies, I think, because that's who he can beat. He's got a 14 handicap. When I met him, he was a 23 handicapper. He's gone down to 14. Um, but he's done that playing on a par 3 course. Give me a fucking break. Give me a break, Rish. Now, his counter argument is going to be, well, he beat me at Coimbra too. You did beat me at Coimbra. You were the low handicapper that day, mate. You're supposed to beat me. When someone's got a lower handicap than you, they're supposed to beat you. Unlike Stephen Gibbs last week, who's a 5 handicapper and I'm an 18 handicapper who did not beat me. That's not what's supposed to happen. So, Rish, we're feuding today, my brother. We are feuding today. What would be my bucket list course to play golf, Steve Leary? Ooh. I don't actually know, mate. I want to get down to Tassie and play Barnbugle. I really want to. I want to, what I could do? And I think I'd get away with it because wife and kids, there's lots of beautiful holiday spots that have golf courses. Funny story though, went to Vietnam last year. Vietnam's got some of the top 10 golf courses in the world. My wife, who does all the planning for all the hotels, we went there for work again. I was drinking this time though. Big drink in Vietnam. Before the conference, we had a couple of days where we could go anywhere we wanted, anywhere we wanted. So we went to Da Nang, which is a beautiful beachside part of Vietnam. But you know what Da Nang's world famous for? Fucking golf courses. Every hotel's got a golf course. They have staff on hand to carry all your shit for you, wash your balls for you, pun intended, and you have an absolutely magical time. Mrs. Sunday Sesh managed to find the only fucking hotel in all of Da Nang that didn't have a fucking golf course. So not only did I go to the Hunter Valley last year and not drink and not play golf, I went to fucking Vietnam, to the center of some of the greatest golf courses on the planet, and didn't fucking play golf. Thank you, Mrs. Sunday Sesh. I know she doesn't listen to this, so happy Valentine's Day, darling. Unbelievable. But I think, Steve, honestly, I don't want to say some, cliche thing that everyone says, Pebble Beach and all those things in America. There are some beautiful golf courses everywhere you go. And because of what I go there for, not just the golf, but the meditation, the serenity and the mental break, mate, you can just about go anywhere. I've got someone owes me a game at the Australian. I've heard New South Wales is very good. A mate of mine just became a member at Castle Hill, so I'll be playing a bit down there. Hunter Valleys are good, but I think they're overrated a little bit, Steve. Everyone carries on about the vintage. Vintage is okay. Like, it's nice. It's better than fucking Mangrove Mountain, that's for sure, but it's nothing ball busting. I think I want to get over to Japan and places like that. You see some of the videos come back just for the scenery. Queenstown, been to Queenstown. Queenstown in New Zealand is the most beautiful place I've ever been, the most picturesque place I've ever been. I wasn't, again, there for work, but wasn't there for golf. But I reckon some of the golf course, some of the views from some of the holes. I'm a big scenery guy, as you can tell. Look at Kramer in the background. He's going, yeah, fucking oath. Curry, I played Curry a month ago, Steve, for the first time. Pissing down rain, absolutely flogging down rain. Remember, it was about a month ago. We had a week's worth of rain. But monsoonal rain, absolutely monsoonal rain. And I'm down on the Central Coast and the rain was sideways at my place. So I put a message in the group. It was with the social club that I play with, the Carry On Tavern Social Club. And I put a message in the group the day before going, just wondering what the monsoon policy is for golf tomorrow. Oh, no, we've checked with the course. They've had very little rain. What are you fucking talking about? And I'm looking on the radar and there's some very big clouds around Kurri. And then we get up in the morning, it's still flogging down here, but they assured us again that it wasn't raining. Then one of the boys who lives up that way says, nah, no rain at my place, we'll be fine. So up we go very early in the morning and dead set we're on the third hole and my God, did it rain. It rained like it's never rained before. We got absolutely flogged. So I believe you, Steve, that Curry is a nice little course, but I did not get to enjoy it in all its glory. I was walking through 6 inches of mud and more worried about a tree falling on me than how pretty the golf course was. But we'll have to get a. Oh, listen, man, I'm pretty easy. I'll play golf with anyone. We'll have to get a round of golf in. I can't have a beer with you. We can have a zero together. We can have a zero together. Like this halftime in the footy's going for a long time. I wish my political correspondent was here. We could talk about the Liberal Party balls and everything up. And how Pauline Hanson's going to win the next election. My 18-year-old is mad on the politics. Not my go, but he'll tell you what's going on in Venezuela if you want. He'll tell you what's going on in fucking Norway where they're all cheating on their loves of their life after 3 months into a 6-month relationship. But he's not here to talk about Susan Lane and the rest, and who gives a fuck anyway. Might be a short one today, Steve. I'm just about done, I think. Live, what's the score in the live? Go and watch the rest of the footy, I reckon. We'll go and watch the rest of the footy. All right. Short and sharp one today, guys. We got an hour in. Thanks for jumping in the chat, Steve, Rishi. If you hear this, and you will, because I'm going to send it to you, you dogged it. You dogged it big time. And it's all right talking tough by private, but put your money where your mouth is, brother. We're going to have to get you up to Royal Wong, and we'll get you up to Royal Wong and show you what golf's really all about. We've done our NRL predictions. Oh, shit, you know what I missed? Fuck, Steve Leary. You didn't tell me. We've missed the book of feuds. We missed the book of feuds. Don't go anywhere. So, in the book of feuds this week, I've had a couple of nominations, actually. I should have scrolled down. Scroll down. Scroll down. A couple of people have nominated people for the book of feuds this week. And one was people who don't speed up when they're walking across pedestrian crossings once a car pulls up. Now, I don't think it's book of feuds worthy, this one. But what I will say is that if I'm on the pedestrian crossing before a car gets there, I'm not breaking stride for anybody, man. I was there first. I'm walking. And I think the person who nominated him he expects when he's in his car, if you're already on the pedestrian crossing and then your car pulls up to them, they're supposed to speed up. No, fuck am I. I'm not breaking my stride for anybody. But you know how you have those awkward moments where you're walking towards the pedestrian crossing, you're on the sidewalk, the car's coming, you both sort of meet at the same time? I'm generally one for still going. I'll still go the pedestrian crossing, but then I'll break stride. Then I'll get the trot on. Then I'll jog across, because there's a bit of a, oh, should I wait for the car to go or not? There's a bit of that going on. So then I might get a bit of a trot on. Depends, of course, if I've got the kids with me or whatever. Now, here's the thing. If I've got the kids with me, then I'll let the car go through first. I'm not going to rush the kids, obviously, even though sometimes I feel like throwing them under a truck. Probably not a good idea to do in public. So kids are with me. I'll let the car pass. I'm on my own and I get there about the same time as the car. I'll trot across. I'm already on the pedestrian crossing. I'm not breaking stride for anybody. That's about it. That's my breakdown. Now, the other one, and I think the person who sent me this probably needs to go and get some help. He reckons he's feuding with people who only react to text messages with an emoji instead of actually writing something back. And he said emails as well. So someone sends you a message and instead of writing back to them, you just give them a thumbs up, or you hold the message and give them a heart emoji or whatever it was. And he's feuding with them. He hates it, reckons it's disrespectful. How quick is it to write something back? I'm going to say again, there's too many nuances in it. There's too many nuances. You need context. So if, for example, someone, I don't know, Mrs. Sunday Sesh tells me I'll be home in 20 minutes. Do I need to fucking write back? Do I need to write back? What's wrong with acknowledging it with a thumbs up or a thumbs down? If I ask someone, what's the score in the footy, and they write back the score, do I need to write something back? Or can I just fucking give them a thumbs up? Why do we have to write words all the time? Silence is golden. Silence is golden. So I think, now, when's a time where it's not appropriate? I love you so much. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Then a thumbs up's a bit harsh. Isn't it? Thumbs up's a bit harsh. Norwegian biathlete gets in. 2 thumbs up from Steve. Norwegian biathlete gets in the group chat and says, I fell in love with someone 6 months ago, but 3 months ago I cheated on him. Thumbs up's a bit harsh. You probably get a few of those shocked emojis with the big eyes when that happens, but that's you'd probably do some words for that one, wouldn't you? Don't know if it's feud worthy. Think you need to get over yourself. That might be my take on that one. But my book of feuds, fuck me. Righto. Here we go. Bought a car recently. Now, I'm going to try and do this without naming anybody. All right. I'm a business owner. It'd be very, it's soft tactics to jump behind a microphone on YouTube and start bagging out other people and businesses in a real sense. I'm not a Google review kind of guy, but we'll see how we go because fuck them anyway. We're feuding. Now, so I bought a truck recently. I won't name the company, but if you ever watch the Roosters play, you have a rough idea who I bought the truck off. Great truck. Great truck. It's like driving an Airbus A380. And I've had it since before Christmas. I've only had to fill the thing up 3 times. So love the product. Now, I first thought about buying this truck in June last year. And I'm very, very impulsive type fella. So in June last year, in my lunch break, I went down to the dealership to test drive one of these trucks, Roosters jersey. And the kid who served me, fresh out of school, 18-year-old, full of piss and vinegar. You know, one thing I hate, this story's going to get better. Salespeople, right? Car salespeople. I'm standing at the truck. I'm opening the truck. I'm getting in and out of the truck. I'm kicking the tires. I'm doing all the things you do when you pretend to know what you're looking at buying a car. And this kid comes over and says, interested in the truck, are you, mate? Interested in the shark? No fucking shit, Sherlock. That's the first thing. No fucking shit. Thanks, Scoop. And I had Mr. Sunday Sesh with me at the time, and I pretty much said, I think I didn't use those exact words, but I said something along the lines of what gave it away. Mrs. Sunday Sesh has been shopping with me before. She knows I'm a punisher. She took over and started entertaining the 12-year-old who was trying to service. Anyway, we go on the test drive. The guy's full of shit. He's a con artist. He's got no idea what he's talking about. He hasn't been trained. Not his fault, by the way. Not his fault. Hasn't been trained. Clearly hasn't been trained. I train salespeople as part of my job. This kid clearly had no training. So he's giving us all the guff, mate. He hasn't read my personality at all. He's telling me all about every sort of different thing, telling us how great it was. Doesn't shut up. Wouldn't let us test drive it without him in the car, and then wouldn't shut up the entire trip. Oh, can you feel this? Oh, can you see the brakes regenerating? Oh, fucking shut the fuck up, kid. I'm about to throw you out. Anyway, partly because of that and partly because I decided not to be impulsive for once in my life, I didn't buy the truck at the time. But that was experience number 1. So then in December last year, the finance is up on my other car. It's time to make a decision. I'm going to go back. I'm going to buy that truck. I walk onto the car yard, meet another guy who looks 12. The other kid's been sacked apparently for too many complaints. And I meet a new guy. Rishi saying he tried every way possible but couldn't see the comments. For likely story, brother. Likely story. So anyway, meet this new kid. Didn't meet him on the lot because I walked straight into the office, told someone I want to buy a truck. They pointed to the sales guy, walked over and said, mate, get the paperwork. I want to buy that truck out there. Made his job very, very easy. Once I make a decision, I'm gone. He gets up, starts to try and do some sort of sales pitch. I said, mate, sit in, get the paperwork. I'm buying the truck. And within, I reckon I was there 10 minutes. If I was there 10 minutes, it was only just. And I'd sign the paperwork. I'd put a deposit down. I'd order my truck. Guy had to do nothing. Absolutely sweet FA. Says the truck's going to be there in 2 weeks. Truck's not there in 2 weeks. I've got to chase for the truck. Says the truck's 4 days away. Truck's not 4 days away. Got to chase for the truck. Truck does turn up. Says I can pick it up tomorrow. Can't pick it up tomorrow. That was 3 days away. Even to the point where go to pick the truck up on the day he's late. Truck's not ready. They're still fucking madly cleaning it and doing everything. Then he gets me in the car. He says, I'm not going to give you the whole rundown. You can read the manual for that. Here's the key bits. Got no problem with it. The way he said it, though, a little bit fucking, how's it going? Anyway, gives me the keys, and as I'm about to drive off, says, so you're going to get sent a survey, and I've done bloody good for you. I responded to all your emails and, done a great job selling your truck. This is him saying that. So when the survey comes through, can you give me a good score? I go, yeah, mate. I give him the nod. Yeah, mate, sure. Anyway, a couple of other things happen. We get the truck. There was a cashback. Cashback was supposed to be back in 3 days. Wasn't back in 3 days. It took 6 weeks. Never heard from old mate salesperson again. Never got the survey, mind you, until I got the survey. And I got the survey 2 weeks ago. And they asked a lot of questions. They asked about the test drive. They asked about the dealership. They never asked anything about the salesperson. But the two questions that lead to this story were, how do you rate the test drive? And how likely are you to recommend our dealership to friends and family? So no questions directly asked about the salesperson. Bear that in mind. Not a single question directly asked about the salesperson. Doesn't name him. And for the test drive, I gave him a 1 out of 10. Now, this is an in-house survey. I said I'm not a Google review guy. In-house survey, the only people who are going to see it are the people in-house who need to know this stuff so they can do better. All right. 1 out of 10 on the test drive. How likely am I to recommend the dealership? 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10. I bought the car. Haven't heard from anyone since. There was a service I was supposed to get at 3,500 kilometres. I had no idea about because no one had rang me. Haven't heard a fucking thing. So the after sales care, non-existent. None. You want to get someone to call you? Put a fucking bad survey in because man did the phone ring. So my phone rings. I don't recognise the number. And I chose not to be anonymous with the survey. You can choose to be anonymous. I chose not to be anonymous, but the phone rings. I didn't recognise it. If I had, I wouldn't have answered it because it was a sales kid. The sales kid, oh, hey, Cam, how you going? How's your truck going? I said, yeah, good, mate. I've got to book it in for that service. No one told me about it. Oh, yeah, your service, yeah. So anyway, so we got the survey back, and what have I ever done to you? They were the first words out of his mouth. And mind you, I don't know how old the kid is, but he looks 12. What have I ever done to you? I said, excuse me? He goes, yep, got the survey back, and 2 out of 10. That's a bit rough, isn't it? Anyway, he's into me. I said, oh, mate, this is the first I've heard from you in 8 weeks. Didn't know I was having a service. The only reason you're ringing me is because there was a bad review. I said, the review wasn't about you. It was about the dealership. Yeah, well, you gave us a 2 out of 10, and that doesn't make any sense because I did everything I was supposed to have to you. You even recommended a friend to us. Now, recommend a friend. This bloke who's bagging me about the Manly jersey in the chat got in my truck. We went to a game of golf. He liked it that much. He walked in there next week to buy a car. He didn't buy the truck. He bought another one. I didn't recommend him. I didn't recommend him at all. But he says, your story just doesn't make sense. Just this little kid. I think you should change your scores. I said, oh, mate, no, I'm pretty sure. I'm not going to change my scores. Now, in the survey, I gave them a bit of feedback. I said, you need to train your sales staff better. They need to understand who they're talking to and act accordingly. And you've had zero after sales care. Zero after sales care. So he says, this story you're telling, you even offered me a job, offered you a job, mate. So what I did do on the first day when I met him, when I walked in and signed a contract, gave him nothing to do. He was pleasant. He was polite. He had a bit of energy about him. I'm always recruiting for what I do for work. So I said, if you ever get sick of selling cars and you want to make some real money, give me a call. That's what I did do. But it only took a week for me to retract that anyway. So here's this kid into me. So anyway, I get off the phone and I'm telling Mrs. Sunday Sesh about it. Mrs. Sunday Sesh says, oh, now what happens with these surveys with cars is it affects their commissions. Right? Now, I take stuff very literally, so when you send me a survey that says how likely would you be to recommend the dealership, I'm not talking about the salesperson directly. I'm not trying to affect the salesperson's direct commission or anything of the sort. I'm answering the question as it's written. Miss Sunday Sesh gets in me ear. She says, oh, you're a bit harsh. I said, no, they've got to learn. Anyway, as often happens with me and Mrs. Sunday Sesh, I get off the phone from her. I sit there for 10 minutes. I go, fucking hell, she's right. Probably a bit harsh on the kid. And when I actually thought about it, he's copped a few stray bullets anyway because he's not the one who did the test drive. And he may or may not be responsible for the after-sales care. So I call him back. I say, hey, mate. We'll call him mate. I've been doing some thinking. I've had a long, hard look at myself. I've looked at myself in the mirror, long, hard look. And I think you've copped a few stray bullets. I don't think you weren't mentioned in the survey, so I didn't think it was directly going to reflect on you. And I'd like to change my scores. How do I change my scores? Now, this is, the heavens have opened up for this kid. You know what he does? Instead of going, oh, look, thanks so much, and sorry about how I was on the phone before, he says, yeah, well, you should change your scores because your story doesn't make sense. And I did this and I did that. And I said, oh, fuck, you've just done it again, mate. You've just done it again. You've just done exactly what I told you was the problem. You got no idea who the fuck you're talking to in a personality sense, not in a anything else sense. I've just rung up. I said, did I fucking ring you or not? He goes, yeah. And I said, did I ring you and apologise and ask how to change your scores? He goes, yeah. I said, then shut the fuck up. Now me and this kid are feuding, right? So anyway, he still doesn't get the picture and he says, well, you're going to need to send me an email saying that you got the survey wrong and that you want to give me 9s and 10s. And I said, oh, I'm not giving you 9s and 10s. What are you talking about? He goes, yep, that's what you should do because your story doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I hung up on the kid. Then I opened my emails. And in between me getting the first phone call from the kid, now listen, generation does need thicker skin, Steve, but also they need some fucking training, mate. And this next part of the story will make sense. In between the first phone call and the second phone call, unbeknownst to me, I'd got an email. I got an email from the manager of this fine establishment. The manager, so conflict resolution and complaints resolution 101 in business, pick up the fucking phone. Pick up the fucking phone. Rule number 2, don't put anything in writing, you dickhead. Pick up the phone, show that you care, don't put anything in writing. 2 fucking rules, very fucking simple. Really important. Otherwise, some dickhead who thinks he knows more is going to go on a podcast and talk shit about you. I read the email. Hi, Cameron. Sorry to hear that you've had a bad experience, but your story doesn't make any sense because you even offered, nearly mentioned names. We got you your truck and you even offered the kid a job and blah, blah, blah. So forget the customer's always right because I don't always believe that either. But no apology. Just you're wrong, we're right, in an email. He then copies and pastes my feedback. He says, curious to know what you think our problem is with matching people's personality types, and completely now copied and pasted, but refused to reference the bit where there's been 0 aftercare, after sales service and that no one booked me in for my service. In a fucking email, and finishes it with, looking forward to your reply. Here's your fucking reply. And then it gets better, Steve Leary. It gets even better because then an hour or so after the last phone call with the kid, I get a text message from the kid saying, mate, haven't got your email yet. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? And to make it worse, out of all, so we're feuding. That's the book of feuds. I can't even make it funny because it's a fucking disgrace. What makes it worse is me mate here, Rishi, bagging me about my Manly jersey, Mr. fucking Par 3 specialist, did buy a car off him. I got stung for tint and car mats. He managed to weasel them in for free and he thought it was going to be funny today to rub that into me. Rubbed it into me. Crushed my soul, hurt me, Rishi. Me and you might be feuding soon. So what I can say without naming names, if anyone wants to buy a car from the Roosters major jersey sponsor and you're on the Central Coast, maybe go to the Wyong dealership, not the only other one on the coast. I'll say that. Go to the Wyong dealership. I haven't been there. I don't know if it's any better. I'm sure they all get the same training, but fuck me, it couldn't be any worse. Car's great, 8-year warranty. What could go wrong? Absolutely nothing. I am waiting for the day, though, China hits a button and they all turn into fucking transformers and take over the world because I swear to God my truck could do that. You look at it, you get inside it, and you go, oh, this thing's a transformer waiting to fucking happen and take over the world. And that's the Book of Feuds. I can't believe we nearly forgot it. It's the only segment I enjoy it. Only joking. I enjoy talking to you, Steve Leary. We dragged another 20 minutes out of it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for jumping in again, Steve. Really appreciate it. We'll get a few more on next time and a few more on next time. For those who miss the live, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Amazon Music, we're on iHeartRadio, and you can listen in your spare time. 16 all in the Indigenous All-Stars. We'll have Vegas. Is Vegas next week? Vegas is coming up. We might even do a Vegas watch party. We might even do a Vegas watch party. Stay off the beers if that's what you want to do. Be good to your mothers. And I'll talk to you all next week. Have a good one.